saw the Nasdaq dip below, a 4% drop on futures this morning, which by some definitions is pretty big. Again, as Sarah was just saying there, the key question here is the reaction, retaliation from other countries. What will they do? Some friends, some foes. We've seen overseas markets drop overnight. China is now facing a whopping 54% tariff on goods shipped to the United States. The Chinese call it bullying. They are vowing retaliation. So let's get right to CNN's Mark Stewart in Beijing for the latest. Mark, what are you hearing this morning?
Well, John, I think it is very safe to say that anxiety is very high, not only here in China, but across Asia. Let's briefly look at the markets today in Asia, how the close went. Everything in the red. Hardest hit Japan, seeing the steepest losses, which is really not a surprise because if we look at Japan, it's home to the auto giants like Toyota, like Honda, like Mazda. But then we have the bigger question about China, where I am right now, seeing the harshest of tariffs. And what will China do next as far as retaliation? We heard from one analyst today who I think brought up a really good point. The real question is, who's going to fold first, the United States or China? For the moment, China has not unveiled its plan to retaliate. In fact, today, a lot of calls for diplomacy and discussion. Perhaps it could be part of a bigger strategy leading up to that April 9th implementation day of these additional tariffs. If things don't go as to the liking of China, it certainly will respond in a very harsh way. It has a lot of tools in its box, including targeting agriculture, farmers, the heartland of America, which was hit in the past during the first Trump presidency and could certainly be a target in this latest round. There is certainly economics involved, John, but there's also ego because neither Xi Jinping nor President Trump want to appear weak in front of their own nations, but also the rest of the world.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Again, we're watching the markets. They will be the first to react, but people everywhere could soon start feeling the impact of these tariffs, of a true global trade war. Mark Stewart in Beijing, thank you very much for that. Kate?
A lot going on this morning. Right now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in for some awkward meetings in Brussels to meet with NATO allies, the first cabinet member to face those allies since the president escalated this global trade war. And also breaking overnight, multiple tornadoes. Reports of tornadoes ripping across the Midwest. Deaths have been reported, homes leveled, power knocked out for hundreds of thousands of people. And the threat continues today.